And welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus on this Friday, August 22nd, 1:07 in the afternoon. Temperatures here at the studio, 80 degrees. Not a bad afternoon. We got plenty of sunshine, a little breezy out of the west. But there's cooler weather heading our way as we head into the upcoming weekend. I'm Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki, along with our Ag Director, Bridgette Readel. Happy Friday, Bridgette. Weekend's almost here.
Well, of course. That's because it's Thursday. Just saying.
It's Friday, Bridgette. Jeez, don't mess.
Maybe it is.
Don't mess with me. Wait a minute.
I have any idea how much my heart just dropped?
I think she was serious. I think she thought it was Thursday.
Yesterday, I thought
she
it was
was serious because she's had a busy week.
Yes, you have.
Hey, you know what? I'm not going to be on air tomorrow. We good with that?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, that's okay. You got the day off tomorrow. That'll work.
Thank you. I've got some canning to do.
Oh, hey, that's that time of the year, no doubt about it. Well, we've got some pretty decent weather heading our way over the next week or so in terms of dry weather. In fact, I put an article online, WDAYradionow.com. You'll want to check that out. I put a precip map up for the next through next weekend, and I think you'll like what you see, especially in the ag community. We've got a pretty dry looking forecast, not only this weekend but all the way through all of next week. Now it will be a little cool though as we head into the weekend with temperatures today really decent, right around the low 80s, plenty of sunshine, a little bit of a breeze that'll help dry things out in some of those wetter areas. And then tonight we'll drop off into the mid 50s, still breezy conditions. And then breezy conditions over the weekend out of the northwest at about 15 to 25. And quite a bit of cloud cover, it looks like, on Saturday. We'll see some sun mixed in with highs in the mid to upper 60s. Only mid 60s on Sunday. A chilly day. Normal highs are about 80, so we'll be about a good 10 to 15 degrees below normal. And then sunshine all of next week. Dry conditions with temperatures starting off the week in the upper 60s, ending the week in the mid to upper 70s. So really nice looking forecast as we head into next week. And a sneak peek at Labor Day weekend does look pretty decent. We could have something coming in on Labor Day. That may hold off, though, until that Tuesday. But a pretty decent looking Labor Day weekend and Labor Day, it looks like, with dry conditions through next weekend. So that's great news, Bridgette. For everybody that's been waiting for it to dry out a little bit.
Little less humidity for us as well, perhaps. That'd be all right.
Absolutely. Yeah, there will be. Yeah, we won't be worried about those high dew points. A nice, refreshing Canadian air mass comes in. And the good news with this particular Canadian air mass is it doesn't look like we're going to get the smoke with it. Might see a very tiny bit of upper level smoke, but nothing like we had the last two Canadian air masses that came in. So that's good news on that front as well.
All right. Well, we're seeing some things improve. I've had multiple questions so far today. When are we going to be able to harvest our wheat for our Here We Grow project, where, again, we're custom farming 20 acres of wheat in rural Cass County, North Dakota, and that wheat is going to be commercial seed. Well, that's part of the reason why we need to wait until conditions are good. We still have some green kernels in the heads. We also know that our moisture content is still at 17%, and we're waiting for that to drop. We'd like to take a few points off of that yet. And so the sun didn't come out here until about 9:30 this morning. And that wasn't really conducive for getting things to dry off and for that field to get ready. We have got cool temperatures over the weekend. So with any luck, we might be combining on Monday, but we're going to keep that everybody up to date on what happens. We're just not sure yet.
And question, Bridgette, how does Jim calculate the moisture? You said it was what, 17? It was at 17? How is that calculated?
They literally have to go out and combine some of the acreage and then run it through a moisture tester in order for them to figure out if we're at the right level of moisture or not. Yeah, you don't really have a good way to do that unless you go out and just hand shell some of the kernels and then run them through the moisture tester, but you do have a little machine that gives you the right moisture content for you.
Gotcha.
That helps.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Interesting. So we're close. Yeah. We're close. Just not quite there yet.
We've got to give it a little bit of time yet. Hopefully sooner rather than later is what we're waiting for. So maybe Monday. We're going to see what it looks like.
Well, and the good news is over the weekend with the breeze and the drier weather coming in, that should definitely help things out. So let's hope for Monday.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
let's hope for Monday. I'm really hoping for the best out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the other things that we could be doing with a cooler weekend. Well, first of all, Temple Grandin, she is a fan favorite for many, especially if you're in the livestock industry. She really has revolutionized what we do for some of our animal handling techniques when it comes to working cattle. She's probably been at the advent of bringing in curved chutes for livestock so that you can have a low stress handling situation for those animals. It really led the charge with that. And she has a long time been associated as a professor of animal science at Colorado State University. Well, her fandom has requested this, and now there's a film about her. It's called An Open Door. It's not a documentary, but it really is talking about her work as a pioneer in animal welfare and how she achieved her global distinction. So if you're looking to watch that, it's a Temple Grandin film again. It's called An Open Door. Streaming has begun on Amazon Prime, Apple TV, and Canopy. I believe that's an app. I'm not sure. I've never used it. There's a lot of streaming apps out there, so someone who's smarter than I am will be able to confirm or deny where that one exists. But nonetheless, you're going to be able to see things about her life and the influence that she has had by watching An Open Door. So if you're a fan of Temple Grandin, there you go. If it's cool this weekend and you're not out in the field or the garden, take an opportunity to watch that and hopefully enjoy it. And let us know what your impressions were, what you thought of it. I'd love to hear that feedback from folks.
Yeah, this would be good. This definitely be a good weekend for it, since weather-wise, it's not going to be conducive for the pool or the lake or anything like that.
Yeah, I'd say it's going to be a little bit different out there. Yeah. Now, right along with our discussion about animal science, certainly that's where Temple Grandin's talents lie. South Dakota State University, their Department of Animal Science has become the first in the nation to be accredited from the American Society of Animal Science. So this accreditation really recognizes them as a university and their commitment to their students, both in the classroom, hands-on experiences. Part of the criteria as well in order to reach this status was that they had to have an on-site visit with the American Society of Animal Science, and those folks visited with the support from the industry. I think that's important to note. Anytime college programs have hands-on input from their industries, it makes things much more worthwhile for the students as they prepare for graduation, as they look ahead to what are the things that I should be learning so that I can take them literally to the field with me or into that industry after I graduate. It just makes students so much more relevant in the time frame in which they're going to become employees of large companies. So I think that it's a pretty neat distinction. Again, they're the first one. I would surmise that other land-grant universities will follow suit with that status as they go through the criteria to have that happen for them as well. And it's truly a mark of distinction, especially for this region. We have incredible land grants around us, whether it's NDSU, SDSU, University of Minnesota, Montana State, and we're turning out great students who do wonderful work, and to have that recognition of the department and how good our faculty are at these locations matters as well. I mean, you're literally being recognized by the industries in which you're representing students down the road. So congratulations to the folks at SDSU. And I know I just said congratulations to SDSU, but again, that's why
that had to be
on
tough.
The live stream is my background.
That had to be tough to say.
Not as tough as if I had to talk about UND. I'm not afraid to share that. I am still of the old guard. That's my major rival.
Okay.
Now, for those who are wondering what my office background looks like, well, you can catch us on our YouTube channels or on our Facebook channel for WDAY, Weather and Ag in Focus, and you'll see where I broadcast from on days when I'm not in studio or in my pickup somewhere, and I have a pretty hectic bison background going on behind me. And I say hectic because there's a lot back there, but you can follow us, Weather and Ag in Focus. You can also find us on Acres TV. And Dean and I are happy to take your emails, weather or ag at flagfamily.com. I've had several today with questions. One of the things that I talked about earlier on a morning show was an Adopt a Cow program for high schools. And I've had several people reach out and ask for details about that. I'm going to share that later with our listeners today as well, how you can be a part of the Adopt a Cow program as we get into the school year, and make sure that whether you're in school or homeschooling, you've got some connections to being able to bring more agriculture into the classroom. So we will talk with our guests today, who are coming to us from Agristo. For those of you who've heard that name before, it has to do with a Belgian potato company, potato processor, coming into Grand Forks. And I think we'll probably have a lot of questions. I know I have a list of them. I hope you do as well. And as listeners, when you have those questions, you can reach us on the JLA insurance phone line, 701 293 9000. Let's take a moment to get our livestock market update from the American Ag Network and come back. Well, the questions roll in on that JLA insurance phone line, 701-293-9000. And I had some of them earlier when I made mention of Discover Dairy's Adopt a Cow program. Dean, you got room for one of those in the backyard?
What was that, Bridgette?
You got a room for an Adopt a Cow in the backyard?
Well, we had cow tinder yesterday, and now we're adopting a cow for the backyard. If I had a fenced-in backyard, sure, I would say absolutely.
Okay, how big of a
Got
cow?
time, but hurry.
Yeah,
This is
Can
a
I adopt a
full-size
baby
dairy
cow?
cow. You get a full-size one.
It's a dairy cow. Can I choose the breed of dairy cow?
Now you're being
you
picky.
might not be able to. Might not. Because here's the deal.
So
All
many
right,
deal
so if you're a
breakers.
teacher or you're homeschooling and right now you are thinking ahead about what am I going to be teaching throughout the school year, well, you have until September 15th to go to Discover Dairy and reach out to their Adopt a Cow program. This is a free program. More than 1.7 million students were a part of this last year. Year-long interactive learning opportunity. You literally have a dairy cow that is paired with a student classroom. And so, again, ages are wide open. You can do this with young kids to older. Then the teachers and the students get photos, video updates, activity sheets throughout the year. They get to watch their calf grow. It's hands-on learning activities, and the students get really a deeper understanding of the dairy industry, where their food comes from, and I think it helps them to not feel concerned about what their future looks like when it comes to, whether or not they should trust food safety, security, etc. I think they feel a lot better about it. So I think it's pretty neat. I would love to see as many people as possible participate in this with the Adopt a Cow program. I'm not sure that we will have dairy farms from right around here joining, only because we don't have that many dairies. But there have been classrooms from all 50 states that participated, as well as a total of 38 countries, rural, urban, anywhere. And then also as a teacher, if you enroll in the Adopt a Cow program, you get an introductory update in the fall with details about your calf. Your classroom gets bi-monthly updates, and there are also places where you can give suggestions about the curriculum to improve what's going on, whether it's in-person or virtual lessons. So enrollment is open, it is free, and it's made possible by a number of dairy associations from across the United States. I don't know. I'm kind of excited about this. I might adopt a cow just for me, but
you've got the room though.
Like 12 students. Well, I don't need the whole cow. I just want to participate in all the activities and see what the kids are doing.
Right.
What are the cool kids doing these days? Because it looks like a lot. I think that's going to be pretty cool. So yeah, we're gonna keep that in mind as to what when kids can be a part of this program, and I hope many of them do. There's other things. If you wanted to have, I know there's a program for almost adopting a farmer where you can have a local farmer who could consistently join your classroom, send you virtual updates, even come in to visit with you in person. So, if teachers are looking for a way to pair with farmers to do that, I can find you all sorts of resources for that, and I would be happy to. So just let me know if you need a little bit of an extra boost to get upper level activities, you might say, by having a farmer for your classroom. I'd love to see folks do that more often. That'd be great.
And I got a message from my son who they just started school last week, and he said, "Hey, Dad, guess what?" I said, "What?" He's like, "We were just told that later this year we get to go on a field trip and we get to go and milk a cow." I'm like, "No kidding." I said, "Well, that's kind of cool." I said, "Are you looking forward?"
Great.
I said, "Are you looking forward to it?" He goes, "I don't know. They're pretty big."
I don't think
Here's
my
the good
school
news.
would have ever trusted any of us to do something like that on a field trip.
Well, I
You'd
can
be
see why.
surprised. And cows don't bite, so there's a positive.
Right.
Okay. Now let's flip over to the agronomy side of the business. There's a new name that's coming to the Red River Valley, and that'll be happening rather soon. And that's Agristo. They're coming to Grand Forks. They're a Belgium-based company, and we have with us today a couple of gentlemen who are going to help us understand more about that business, who they are, and what they do. Keith Lund is the president and CEO of the Grand Forks Region Economic Development Corporation, and Ward Clairbout is with Agristo. He's their external affairs director. So, gentlemen, thank you for taking the time to join us today. We greatly appreciate it.
Hello,
Happy
good
to. Thank you for
afternoon.
having us.
Thank you for having us.
Ex-
Yeah.
Excellent. So, Ward, I want to ask you first, as someone with Agristo, tell us a little bit about the background of your company in what you do in Europe and as you start to look to coming to the US.
Yeah. So, Agristo is a Belgian company. It's a family-owned company, and we were founded in back in the 80s by two friends, Anton and Luc. They started actually with a small production line in the farm of one of their fathers, and they started processing potatoes into frozen potato products. So French fries, but also other products like hash brown patties and so on. And bit by bit, the company grew. They expanded in Belgium. We have now three production sites in Belgium. We have one production site in the Netherlands, one in India, and we're building one in France at the moment. And so in total now we produce around 900,000 metric tons of finished product with around 1,500 employees worldwide.
And Ward, why come to North Dakota? What any specific
Yeah,
reasons?
a lot. Well, potatoes for one.
Sure.
Uh, and of course, also, first of all, the US is an important market for us. There's a lot of consumption, there's a lot of consumption growth, so it makes sense to be there. We are already supplying to the US, so we want to produce our products more locally. And then we started looking at possible locations. What would be the best location to build a first production facility for the Agristo? And we explored several options, different states. We did trials with potatoes in different states. But turns out that North Dakota and specifically the Red River Valley is great for potato growing, and there's amazing farmers, amazing expertise also in potato growing. So we decided it's the best place to build this first factory.
So, as we look to you coming into Grand Forks, I'm going to ask Keith, and again, he is with the Grand Forks Economic Development. How excited is Grand Forks to have a new potato processor coming to the region, and what does it mean for the area?
We're all tremendously excited. And before I answer, I think you might have some inside information because coincidentally and quite amazingly, today is the 3-year anniversary of our first time meeting Agristo in person. So you timed that quite well. So we had Yoakum Rovers, who works on behalf of the company, as Ward was describing, was looking for the best place to grow potatoes. They had done some early preliminary trials, and North Dakota, Red River Valley was doing well. And so subsequently, many, many meetings between now and then and now. But anyway, it's just quite remarkable that this is on their 3-year anniversary. It means a lot to Grand Forks. I mean, as anyone who lives in North Dakota, the upper Midwest knows, as ag goes, so does your local economy. And so a project like this is extremely significant. We can talk about the jobs, which is a thing that an economic development corporation like ours looks at. 300 to 350 jobs. Value-added ag is one of the largest economic multipliers when it comes to additional jobs it supports in the community, at least one, sometimes 1.5. We think there'll be somewhere close to $20 million of new payroll just injected in the economy because of the people working at the plant, and maybe even as much as 30 million of different organizations and companies that are supporting it. So you can talk about the additional economic benefit from the construction and really the productivity and the additional wealth of the farmers that will be created through all of this. So it's just a real boon for our region, for the state of North Dakota, and the community is tremendously excited.
Gentlemen, we have a whole list of questions to ask you today, and we are going to do that when we return from our bottom of the hour news. So don't go anywhere. We have more to discuss, and we'll be right back. All right, to those South Dakota State University fans out there who are sending me messages, yes, I did give you a big compliment, so you're welcome. Today, our guests that are joining us are here to talk about potatoes and all things the potato holics want to hear. We are joined with Ward. He is a representative of Agristo from Belgium, and also Keith is joining us. He's with the Grand Forks Economic Development Corporation. Okay, we've been talking a little bit about the economic impact in the region. I'm not sure which one of you wants this question, but what are we going to see with acres? Do you foresee a major shift in acreage where we're going to grow more potatoes? Do we need more acreage? What is that going to look like? And like I said, I'm not sure which one of you wants to jump in on that question. Maybe you, Ward.
Yeah, I'm happy to answer that question. So obviously we're going to need a lot of potatoes. We're talking on the long run about 9 million hundredweights of potatoes. So it's going to mean new acreage. It's going to mean more potatoes. But of course, there's a lot of room. There's a lot of space. There's enough potatoes to go around. And we are also going to try to introduce new varieties. Varieties we know from back in Europe. For example, the Fontaine potato variety, which is a potato that grows very well on dry lands. It needs less irrigation. And based on the trials we already did in North Dakota, we get excellent results on those potatoes. Excellent yield, excellent quality. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot more demand for potatoes for sure, which is only gonna benefit the farmers in the end.
And Ward, that was one of my next questions. Was kind of a two-part question. Is potato consumption up recently? Which it sounds like, according to what you just said, it must be. And then, are these potatoes going to be domestic or will they be exported? Majority of them.
Well, to start with your second question, maybe it's for the domestic market. It's for the U.S. market, and so we are active in a specific segment of the market. So we are focusing on retail and restaurant chains, food service we call it. So not specifically QSR. And we also do private label. So we don't have our own brands. So we supply the brands or we make the brands for our customers. So we are targeting US clients. We already have quite a lot of US clients. And what was your first question?
Potato consumption, has that been up recently?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, it's steadily growing actually. Potato consumption, it's growing worldwide, but also in the US. And the thing, of course, in the US is that consumption is already very large or big. So even growth at 1 or 2% is huge in volume. And specifically the segments we're in, retail and food service, have a lot of potential. So that is really why we are investing in this area.
So, Keith, as someone, again, you're the president and CEO of the Grand Forks Economic Development Corporation. When you think about the processing plant coming to North Dakota into Grand Forks for Agristo, does processing attract processing? Do you think there will be other adjunct businesses that become a part of the region as well, based on just the excitement of bringing another potato processor to town?
Absolutely, it works that way. You can just think about any large manufacturer in our region or other regions. Agribusiness in particular attracts a lot of transportation companies, other support industries as well. So we anticipate part of that indirect and induced job growth that I talked about when we first came on. That's a big part of that. So that's very exciting. And just maybe I'll back up and add a little bit of color to what you asked Ward just a short time ago. One of the things that we've learned through this process over the last 40 years is 100,000 acres that were once potatoes that have been converted to other things, other crops. So there's room in the market to expand. And we're just excited. I talked about meeting Agristo 3 years ago, but the agricultural community, it was known for some time that Agristo was looking to enter the US market. And there were farmer groups and agronomists that were driving this before we got involved. So it was quite a remarkable endeavor to get involved after the farmers really had been driving this for a while. And they certainly demonstrated that we grow the best potato, and we needed to bring the business case to the project.
Well, I do think we grow the best potato. Yes, please, Ward, go ahead and join.
No, I just wanted to add that it's really also thanks to all the efforts of our local farming partners that we managed to conclude this investment. They helped us a lot. They helped us with all the trials. They convinced us that this was the best region to invest in. So it's thanks to this farming community that we're coming to North Dakota.
There is a long history of potatoes in this state. We are number 8 in production in the U.S. And you're right, the region, because of our soil conditions, our climate, our availability for inputs, and just the fact that we have land that doesn't have a lot of rocks in it, I think that probably makes a pretty big difference to bring potatoes to this region. So that, as a farmer's kid, I picked a lot of those rocks, and I'm pretty sure a potato farmer does not want to pick a lot of those rocks. So I get it. One thing I am going to ask for Ward to explain. Folks think that when we raise potatoes, the same potato goes to everything. Agristo is focusing on potatoes that are going to be processed into French fries and other frozen goods versus a table fresh market. You don't participate in that in any way, correct? In the table fresh market, that's entirely separate. Can you give a little color commentary as to how those two industries differ?
Yeah, well, it's actually totally different potato varieties. The fresh, am I still there?
Yep, you're still
Hello?
here.
Sorry. Yeah,
Yep.
it's different potato varieties. So fresh market needs rather small potatoes, round potatoes, clear skinned potatoes. While for processing, we need to have large potatoes, also bulky potatoes, because the consumer wants long French fries. So we need to be able to cut them in a way that we have long end products. So yeah, it's different varieties.
Well, people are going to get a chance to sample those types of things. Y'all have an event coming up. So I'm going to ask Keith to start and kick us off with what's happening to welcome Grand Forks and Agristo and kind of introduce them to each other very soon.
Well, I'll just do briefly, but really it's Agristo's event. They're very generously hosting a Taste of Belgium in Grand Forks on Monday from 4 to 8 to really introduce themselves and their new products to the Grand Forks community. I think it's fantastic that they're saying, hey, come meet us. We'll answer any of your questions. And we want to be a valued partner and corporate citizen in Grand Forks. So that's what I'll say. And really, it is Agristo's event. So Ward can add to that.
Yeah. No, it's indeed an event we're organizing this Monday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And it's really for us to get to know the community we're investing in, of course, but also for the community to come out and to come and ask us any question they might have about our planned investment. And it's going to be a fun event. We're going to have free French fries, of course. That's a must-have. But there's also going to be other Belgian food. There's going to be waffles. There's going to be other Belgian food products, Belgian beers. Maybe that will convince people to show up. There's going to be live music too, activities for children, for adults. So it's really going to be a fun event, and I would really like to invite everyone to come out to meet our leadership team. So we're all, or not all, but a lot of us are flying in also to be there, to meet everyone and to discuss. And this investment is not just an investment in itself. We want to be part of this local community. So that is why it's so important for us to organize this. And there will be some speeches, but we'll try to keep them short. So we'll try to focus on the fun part of it.
Hey, Bridgette, I have an idea. I think we should take our show up north to Grand Forks on Monday and do it live. And he had me with free fries, and then he really had me with the Belgian beer.
You guys are not allowed to go unless I'm coming with you.
I think we take our show north on Monday.
Okay, one thing at a time. One of us has to go combine a wheat field, but
oh, that's right. That's right.
So, gentlemen, if I'm a farmer who's looking to work with Agristo, if I am a community member who wants to know more about the business, and if I'm a potential employee or contractor that could work with you, is this an event for any one of me's to be there?
Yes, really, anyone can come. It's an open event. It's free. It's on the town square. That's also important. I didn't mention it yet. I think the town square of Grand Forks. I checked my weather app. Weather looks nice, so anyone who wants to is very welcome to come. Yeah, and you can also follow us on social media. We have Agristo US on Instagram, Facebook. So if you want more details, you will find all the details there.
So Keith, this isn't a Rimba cutting yet, but this is a pretty exciting event. I would imagine you'll be there in full force as well.
Absolutely. It's exciting. A lot of people are going to want to meet a lot of people at that event. We've heard from them. They're coming for lots of reasons and lots of goals. So it is a tremendous celebration. Just to give you, the CEO of the company is going to speak. Our mayor, the egg commissioner, is going to attend, and we think he's going to speak. I'll make a couple of comments as well, and the lieutenant governor will be there. And I think that just illustrates, the importance of this project and the tremendous benefit that it's going to have in the region. So I'm looking forward to it. We'll get the speeches, as Ward suggested, out of the way quickly and enjoy ourselves. So it feels great. There's been a lot of work. Ward talked about the agricultural community. I had the pleasure of attending 2 of those meetings where farmers in the region were really promoting their ability to grow the best potato, and they did. And that's a big reason, and the main reason why we're talking to you today.
Well, to Ward, thank you for coming. And on behalf of North Dakota Agriculture, we're glad to see you arriving here in the state of North Dakota. And Keith, thanks for all your hard work in bringing this investment to the Red River Valley.
A lot of people worked hard, so thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Gentlemen, we appreciate your time today and just visiting and sharing more with us. So we look forward to seeing you hopefully on Monday evening.
Super.
Okay, looking forward to it. Thanks a lot.
All right, thanks, guys. And hey, Ward, dress warm. It's going to be a little cool, but by Belgium style. It shouldn't be that bad. It shouldn't be that bad.
Good to know.
It's going to be a perfect day. I agree with the Ward. I've been checking the weather app for a week now.
It will nothing but sunshine and light winds. I mean, it doesn't get much. It doesn't get much better than that. Doesn't get much better than that. So, and speaking of weather, when we come back after the break, we will highlight what the weekend looks like and take a peek into next week. All of that and more when we come back. Hey, welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. 1:54 in the afternoon. Temperature outside 80 degrees. A pretty decent afternoon. It is on the breezy side, and we do have some clouds in the far northern valley as they trickle in from Canada. And speaking of Canada, yeah, we've got a push of cool air coming in from Canada over the weekend with temperatures held in the 60s. And we'll see more cloud cover over the weekend than we're seeing right now as well. But next week, we have dry weather and sunshine all next week with high pressure building in from Canada. Temperatures will be in the 70s all of next week. Might flirt with 80 by the end of next week. And right now, Labor Day weekend looks pretty decent with temps around 80. So although this weekend, not the best weekend, I mean, we only have a few weekends left in quote-unquote summer. And you hate to waste a weekend like this weekend with the cloudy and cool weather, but it is what it is. Good bonfire weather. That's trying to take a positive spin on it. And it looks like Labor Day weekend looks much nicer with warmer weather and more sunshine. So maybe a last lake day or pool day next weekend, just not very conducive for it this weekend.
Well, there's other things you can be doing. We talked about Temple Grandin's film, and if you're worried about making sure that things are secure, not only when you are out walking fences, you should be checking that with your cybersecurity. And that's something you can do this weekend in those cooler temperatures. Get online to techsupportfarm.com and check out the fence check assessment to make sure you have what you need so that your cybersecurity is at its highest protection point. That's one thing. And second of all, don't forget to check out Hire Drone Service. They're an agri-drone service, and they are operating out of Leonard, North Dakota. If you are thinking there might be some last-minute things I need to take care of, maybe I want to start planning ahead for next year already, for 2026, consider talking to Matthew or Eleanor at Hires. And we've kind of laughed and giggled a little bit about when we're going to get our wheat combine. Well, that is Peterson Farm Seed wheat, and it is of the Rolls variety. We're going to get that field combine when the timing and the wheat is right, and it's going to make great quality wheat seed for next year. So thanks to Peterson for being a part of our project as we are raising our Here We Grow wheat field. 20 acres of wheat. If you would like to send your yield guesses, you can still do that up until the time that we get it combined. And you can send those guesses to me, ag@flagfamily.com, and I'll hang on to them. Winner will receive one of our Darter plastic rain gauges, as well as a $100 gift card for gas, which we can all use that. Gas prices are a little better these days, but I never turned down the idea of somebody else putting that tank of gas in my pickup. I'm all right with that.
And Bridgette, out of all the entries you've gotten, what's the, if you recall, what's the high end guess for bushels? Do you know offhand?
I can actually, not I can tell you because I've got the folder right here to go look at it. I have guesses anywhere from 72 bushel, 28 and a half, 68. I've got a lot in the 40s.
Wow.
Some of them over 60. So we've got quite a spread of what people might think that spring wheat is going to bring in for a yield.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what really does happen when we run the combine through it and get an actual bushel on the monitor. One of the things North Dakota is huge in raising wheat. And we are also pretty good at raising potatoes, but soybeans are one of those products that we are ranking higher and higher every year. Interesting to note, soybeans really are sort of a new crop. They really didn't gain a lot of popularity until after World War II. And here in North Dakota, it was even later when we started raising them. So when you think about new crops to the region, soybeans kind of one of them. There's your little piece of trivia for the day.
All right. Well, we want to thank everybody for joining us here on Weather and Ag in Focus. Don't go anywhere. The Jay Thomas Show with Tim Flackel is coming up next.